Hello, space pilot Mr. Cool Guy here. And, well, it's that time again. Yep, you're here again. Learn new interesting things. Well, new if you don't know any of them. Wouldn't it be interesting, to see these facts, the things you learn about in person, right? Because, you can hear about the facts, and that's pretty interesting. What if you went and saw it for yourself? Or what if you were there? Imagine being the one who had witnessed said fact. Alright, well, it's time for 10 more random facts you may or may not know. Starting with fact number 1. Wonder worm. 9-year-old Barnaby Domigan found a gigantic 3-foot long or 0.9 meter earthworm in the backyard of his parents' house in Christchurch, New Zealand. 3-foot long earthworm. I mean, for an earthworm, that's pretty long. Man, that is something. Especially for a kid. He goes to his friends and says, I found a 3-foot long earthworm in my backyard. And depending on, the type of friends he has, the type of kids they are, because, some would find that gross. Let's assume that they didn't, right? Whoa, do you have it with you? Right? Whoa, that's a long earthworm. Cool. Right? Oh, man. That's probably catching lots of fish. A lot of fish would be attracted to the sight of a 3-foot long earthworm. But anyways, it's time for fact number 2. Police squirrels. Police officers in Chongqing, China have trained 6 squirrels to sniff out drugs. With their keen sense of smell, squirrels are not only skilled detectors, but being smaller and faster, they can reach high and awkward spots that are inaccessible to sniffer dogs. Huh. Squirrels that sniff out drugs. Who would have thought? This honestly feels like something you'd see in a Phineas and Ferb episode. Right? Them just training squirrels to be police officers or something. Right? Or like some Alka initiative thing, right? That. Yeah, but, hey, if it works, it works. Because, dogs can't exactly climb, whereas squirrels can, so, Alright, well, it's time for fact number 3. Perfume pouch. The male greater sack-winged bat of Central and South America attracts a female by sucking up a few drops of his urine and transferring it into the special pouches on his wings. The scent of his urine mixed with a secretion from a gland on his chest apparently proves irresistible. Hmm. That is an interesting way to attract a mate. Uh, yeah. That's, it is an animal, so, certain animals have interesting ways of attracting mates. I mean, using the scent of urine is certainly weird, right? If a human did that, they'd be considered weird and gross. You are not attracting a mate with that. That's no. Also, I don't know why you did that in the first place. I don't think anybody would. Hopefully. Well, let's move on to fact number 5. No vomit. Mice are unable to vomit. They have fewer diaphragm muscles than most other mammals and lack the brain signal to throw up. That is interesting. Not being able to do that. Could you imagine if we didn't have that signal? Wouldn't that be something? Right? Because then if you get nauseated or whatever from not eating, but yet eating could, make you feel nauseous, make you throw up. Like if you didn't have that signal, you could eat to get rid of your nausea and not worry about throwing it up. That would certainly be something. But, we have that signal, so, it sucks. But hey, it could always be worse. Well, let's move on to fact number 6. Miracle Cat. Carol Swanson's black and white American short-hair cat, Socks, miraculously survived the fall of nearly 100 feet from her 7th floor apartment in Leeds, England. Dang. 100 feet, or nearly 100 feet fall, and it survived. They say cats always land on their feet. I don't know if that's actually true, but in this case, the cat survived. That is wild. If we fell nearly 100 feet, unless we land on something soft, we're probably gonna have something that's broken. Right? And if you don't, and you didn't land on anything soft, then, that's crazy. That would just be crazy. That shouldn't have been possible. Right? Man. Now, don't take this as a sign to throw your cat from a height of nearly 100 feet just to see if they survive. Like Socks. Okay? That's very stupid. And there's a chance that they might not survive the fall. And that'll be on you, because you gave in to your stupidity, but I'm just telling you, do not try it. But now, let's move on to fact Number 7. Two-way hole. Jellyfish have just one hole on their body for doing two very important things: eating and pooping. Okay? The jellyfish uses its tentacles to push prey into its mouth, where it is digested and the goodness is absorbed. Then the poop is pushed back out through the same hole. I apologize to those who are eating while watching this. But anyways, okay, that, so it's just like sea sponges. Wow, okay. I mean, technically, I guess it makes sense. I mean, the way they're shaped, it would have to work that way. Yeah, wow. Let's move on. You want to move on? Okay, we'll move on to fact number 8. Dino bird. Birds are some of the closest living relatives to dinosaurs, and the Hoatzin makes that pretty clear. The Hoatzin resembles a dinosaur, obviously. Hoatzin chicks even have claws on their wings to climb back into their nests. What's even weirder is that they have a digestive system similar to a cow. The Hoatzin only eats vegetation, which gets fermented in its stomach. Smelly vapors emitted by the bird give it the name stink bird. Dang, that's... I mean, one like that will have you be asking, is that a bird or a dinosaur? And stink bird? That just feels like a name that it'd be given in, like, school or whatever. For those of you who went to a school and weren't homeschooled, you know what I'm talking about? Right? Some bully or some kids, right, will call you names. And Stinkbird just feels like a name you could get called in school. Right? I mean, I never go with that, but I know there are some people out there who be like, yeah, I can relate. That's crazy. Man, that's gotta suck. Like, you as this bird is just born that way, smelling like that. Like, you didn't ask to be born that way, and then they decide, it gives off smelly vapors. I think we need to give it a nickname, but Hoatzin is just good enough on its own. Oh, yes, but what were you thinking? How about Stinkbird? Stinkbird? Really? That sounds like a nickname given to someone in school. But it fits. It's a bird and it smells terrible. Fine, it works. Well, it's time for fact number 8. Hoodoo stones. Rocks from the Yaliu Geopark in Taiwan look like they come from another planet. Known as hoodoo stones, these curious rocks have funky shapes and sizes. Some are like mushrooms and candles. But the most famous is the Queen's Head. It's said to have once resembled England's Queen Elizabeth I. The hoodoo stones continue to change their unique shapes due to weather, sea erosion, and people touching them. Dang. That is crazy. I mean, rocks can be interesting. Whether you're a rock collector or you're walking down the path and you see a little rock on the sidewalk and you just kick it along on your journey or whatever. But in this case, they're interesting because they have funky shapes and sizes. Could you imagine? Right? Like, if you had been walking out in the hot heat and you reached your Liu Geo Park, right? And then you saw that rock that was supposed to look like Queen Elizabeth I. You're so hot. You're seeing mirages and illusions because of all the heat. You most likely, in your deliriousness, would probably think that that's actually Queen Elizabeth I there, until you get close enough and realize it's just a rock. I mean, I guess you could say they're rocking our world. Oh man. Alrighty, it is time for fact number 9. Portugal's portal. In Portugal, there is a lake with a hole that is actually a tunnel. It's known as Corveio dos Conchos and found in the Serra da Estrela Mountains. Built in 1955 for a hydroelectric project, the tunnel connects 2 lakes, and the water hole provides fresh water to nearby towns. Since the Mountain Lakes Tunnel is man-made, people think it looks like a sci-fi portal. Dang. A lake tunnel that looks like a portal. Do you think it leads to another dimension? Man, probably not. But if it did, whoever accidentally falls into the hole would have been the first person to have completed interdimensional travel. Oh man, that's crazy. You know, I wonder where the tunnel leads to actually. It's interesting to think about, but I wouldn't go trying to do it. Right? I'm sure there is some safe way to do it with a professional doing it, but don't you yourself go and try it. So you end up seriously hurt, trapped, or dead. And you know, when they have to figure out your cause of death, they'll say, cause of death? Stupidity. So, you know, don't go doing it. Now, it's time for fact number 10. Lighten up. Most flowers are only enjoyed in the light, but the firefly petunia glows in the dark. This new plant was made by scientists at the Light Bio Company. They used genes from a glowing mushroom to give the firefly petunia its special shine. Light Bio began selling the plant in 2024. It does not need any special food or conditions to glow, so even people without green thumbs can have a glowing green houseplant. That is, wow, a plant that glows in the dark. That is, I mean, there are all sorts of plants. right? There's even fake plastic plants for those who can't grow real plants because they keep dying on them. And now there's a glowing plant that uses genes from a glowing mushroom. So, that is alright. So now, if your flashlight goes out, you can use the glowing plant. I mean, I'm sure it can't, send light as far as a flashlight, but, it's something. Alright. There was 10 random facts you may or may not have known, but you know now. Are there any that you knew? If so, let me know down below, where you can add any additional information on said fact or facts that, you find interesting. If you enjoyed, as always, leave a like. I mean, you don't have to, but it certainly helps. And, you can subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't have to constantly search up my channel to, hear more random facts, and it'll notify you the second a new patch drops. So you can hear 10 more random, interesting facts that you may or may not know. Make sure to share this with others so they have the chance to hear these 10 random, interesting facts that they may or may not know. But that you know. Because you saw the transmission. Well, anyways, I'm Space Pilot Mr. Cool Guy, and as I always say, my dear space crew, to infinity and more facts.